Yesterday we started Python, and I said something during the lecture yesterday that Python is very important and cannot be put aside. You cannot, you can be a cloud engineer without Python, but you'll be a better cloud engineer with Python. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You can be a cloud engineer without Python, but you'll be a better cloud engineer with Python because there's a lot to be done or that can be done with Python. Yesterday we did something very interesting with Python, and trust me, it was amazing. If you missed yesterday's video, please go and rewatch. Please go and watch it, please. And then it's very important. Go and watch it. The thing is, yesterday we used Python for the same. If you remember, uh we used what was the name? We used Bash. Remember, for we used Bash for to write a script the last time. We used Bash to rename files, rename a particular rename files, right? But guess what? We used Python yesterday for the same task, and it was very amazing. Very, very amazing. Trust me, you would see that Python, it's very interesting. So, and it will actually the it will make cloud computing easy for anybody. So, part of the things we did yesterday is to do all this. We stopped at variable, and that is what you're seeing on my screen. I hope you're seeing my VS Code. So we did variable. If you see, we have x equals 5 and we have y equals hello world. So let's continue from there. So we said that Python has no command for declaring a variable. Python has no command for declaring a variable. It has no command for declaring a variable. The only way Python declares variable is by saying something equals something. That's all. So and immediately you assign a value to something, that is a variable, right? So and then we see we did a test run yesterday. Yesterday we also learned how to install uh, Python on our system, how to use it. You can see that for example, to run this script now, this is a Python script. To run it now, all I just have to do is to say Python Python, and then I'll write the name of the script, script.py. Remember, the most important thing is the extension. It can have any name. So when I say enter, you can see it says hello world 5. This is the script, this is the output. So what we're saying in essence is that x is a variable because it has a value of 5. Y is a variable because it has a value of hello world. And then we now say print y. Remember, y is the last one, but we said print y first. And what did it print? Hello world. You can see hello world. And then we said print x. What is the value of x? 5. And you can see 5. So we practicalized that yesterday. It was amazing. It was interesting. So let's continue from that point. Let's continue. Okay. So we have let's see. Variables do not need to be declared with any particular type and can even change type after it has been set. Now, for other programming languages like C, maybe Java, there are some old programming languages that you need to declare the type of your variable before you can give it a type. But Python, you don't need to describe any type rather. You just have to write, and once you write a value, it assumes the type of the value. So, for example, look at this: x equals 4. X equals 4. 4 is an integer. So, automatically, Python takes that 4. Do you get? It takes 4 as the value, and that is beautiful if you ask me. And that's one of the beautiful thing about Python. You don't have to worry yourself about trying to give a specific you know, data type to a variable. It automatically assumes the variable. Look at the second one, x equals Sally. Sally is a string, you can see. So that makes a lot of sense. So uh, s before was an integer. Now it becomes a string. Let's test it out. Let's test it out. Let's see. This is my script. Clear this and paste the new one. So you can see we said x equals 4, x equals Sally. Remember, x equals 4. 4 is an integer. We'll still do that, right? Data types. Then Sally is a string, and that's why it's in quote, right? It can be single quote, it can be double quote. Both works. But now look at this. You now say print x. If we want to print x, let me type it again. Print x. Now to print x, look at what happens when we want to print x. It's supposed to assume the last value, which is the string. Did you see? Sally. So no matter the data type you have done earlier, Python can change to the latest data type. Python actually loves, but Python actually assumes the last data type you set. So no matter the data type that have been set at the beginning, Python assumes the last data type because it reads it line by line from the first line to the next line to the next line. So meaning that Python initially saw 4, right? And then after seeing 4, Python was like, okay, what's going on here? Then you said X is now Sally, which is a string, right? Which is a string. So the last one Python saw is what it assumes, right? So I believe that's clear. Let me know if you're still, let me know if that's clear on the chat. If you're still following, I think, yeah, I think Franca is still there. Let me see. Let me know if you are getting what I'm saying on the chat box. Okay, you can keep dropping your comments, and of course, let's go ahead. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is casting. What is casting? If you want to specify the data type of a variable, this can be done with casting. So you see, one beautiful thing about Python is that aside from the fact that it can assume a data type for itself, depending on the value you input, you can also now determine the data type yourself. You can give it a data type yourself and say, oh, this stuff, this is what I want. For example, look at this. X equals to str into 3. If you just say x equals 3, Python will see 3 as an integer. But look at this. You say str. So you are telling Python that the 3 is a string. Do you get? So meaning that you can see how beautiful Python is. Meaning that, look at y now. You said y equals int into 3. Int open bracket 3 close bracket means that you're telling Python that that 3 is an integer. And actually it should be integer, right? So now look at the last one, float. You're telling Python that that 3 is a float. Floating points are decimal point numbers. So you can see, very beautiful, right? So that is how interesting Python can be. So you can, let's test that out. Let's see how it looks like. Paste it, you see. So I can say let's print x, let's print x, let's print x, let's print y, let's print everything. Print y, print. So yesterday we said print is for outputting. on the console. So that's what we're doing. So let's quickly run it. Enter. Do you see now? So don't be deceived. The first three you are seeing is not an integer. It's a string. It's a string. If you say if you add a number with it, it will not work because it's not an integer. I mean, these first three you are seeing, but this second three, it works. Makes sense, right? And then this last three is a float. You can see it has point 0. So that's how beautiful Python is. Okay, let's do something. Let's say that, for example, let's say f for a name of a variable equals x plus y. Do you see now? X plus y. So now let's print f. Look at what happens. Look at what happens now. Let's print f. Did you see? Did you see? It says, do you see? It threw an error. You see? It says, uh, trace back file, blah, 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 line 4. What is line 4? This one. Because you are trying to tell Python that Python had string 3 plus integer 3. It cannot have a value because you cannot have string plus integer. So it gives you an error. It tells you, you can see, it's even right there. It says, can only concatenate string, not integer. Did you see now? You see? So the only thing you can do is to maybe add string with string or add integer with integer. Now let me change it now. So now instead of using x, right, I can use, let's try z. Let's see what happens, right? Let's try that. See, see the difference. You need to really get the operation. It makes you better when you understand what's going on. Did you see? 6.0. Did you see now? So string cannot be added to an integer, but you can still add float with an integer. Do you see now? So I added float 3 plus int 3, and it gave me 6.0. You see now? So that is very beautiful, isn't it? So Python, once you cast, so that's casting. That's what casting means in Python. I casted the variables. I said that Python, this variable must be a string. This variable must be an integer. This variable must be a float. And then that came out very beautifully, right? All right. So please, if anyone that is on the call, you can just say hi. If there's any other person aside Franca, you can just say hi so that I can know there's another person. All right. So let's go ahead. Um, all right. So now look at this. We can get data type. We can get the data type of a value. Like if you don't know, for example, maybe you are running a program and like you are giving a program and you're not sure of the data type. You're not sure of the data type. So you can actually uh you know get it, right? You can get the data type by what? You can get the data type by using, so let's quickly get data type, right? So I think we'll just continue with our example. Let's do that. Let me go back. So you can see this is how to get type. You use type, you say print, then type into bracket of what you're trying to get the type. So let's go get a type. Let's get a type. Let me just copy one out of this, or let me just copy the two. Since we have x and y in our value, so let's say type. Aha, good. So now we can still get the type of the last one, which is what we can get the type of z, right? Let's get the type for z too. Let's remove this; it's not necessary anymore. So now, let's get the type. So let's run it. Let's run the script, and then you can see It tells you that the first one is a string, which is x, is a string. It tells you that the next one is an integer. You can see, and then it tells you that the last one is a float. So, peradventure, you are given a program by a programmer, and you're trying to run some operations on it. You're trying to run some operations on it, and you're trying to check what data type and all that that is going on, right? So you can use this value, right? To you can use this value to, I mean, this thing that we just wrote now, this type, right? You can use it to actually uh get the data type, right? And that's what we did. Let's try again. Um, okay. So, all right, I can continue now. I had a little network glitch, and then I think I can continue now. All right. I'm seeing two views. Who is the other person on the call? Are we on the stream? Please, you can say something. Just say hi, so that I can know the other person. I know Franca is likely to be on the call or on the stream, but the other person, please, um, view. I'm seeing a view like we have two people over there. And it looks like the person is just going to and fro. Well, it doesn't matter, right? Let's just continue. All right. So now we just checked for data type, and then let's also still check for data type of the one that is not casted. Remember, we casted it, so we already told it, but then let's do one that is not casted. So, for example, let's z be 3.0. Z is 3.0. Note Z is 3.0. Uh, Y is 3. And then make the first one, maybe let's make it hello world. Hello world. So now let's now get the what? Let's get the value. Let's try to get it data type, right? Let's get the data type with this. Let's see. I'm removing all that so that it won't get confusing. So let's get all the data types. Can we go now? So let's clear our screen, and then let's rerun Python script and just enter. You can see. Do you see now? So the for you to know that Python recognizes a data type, x is equals to what? Hello world. And then it recognizes it as a string. You can see string. You see now, the y is equals to 3 and recognize that as an integer. Then z equals to 3.0, recognize as a float. Okay, so that you won't think that it's arranged, let me change this to 3.0, and then let me change this to 3, right? To 3. So let's see if y will now be float and z will now be integer. So because now that we have changed it, it has to change, right? So let's go ahead. Let's see. I will not remove the last value so that you see. You can see now. So you can see float. You can see now y is now float and z is now integer. So meaning that it actually can tell the data type even if it was not casted. If you did not cast it, it will still know the data type. But you can decide to cast, you can decide not to cast. Uh, if you there are only scenarios, there are scenarios when casting are needed. If you're trying to run a program and you know to avoid crashing a program when you are trying to transfer it, it's better to cast, because when you cast, the environment knows the data type it is expecting. So it's actually the best practice. If you ask me though, best practice is to cast. You cast it, you tell it, oh, value of x has to be a string, value of y has to be an integer. It actually helps you save your program. But then if you don't want to cast too, it doesn't matter, but casting is still the best practice. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's continue. So single or double quote. String variables can be declared either by using single or double quotes. So this tells us that I think I've mentioned this earlier, right? You can say John using double quotes, and you can use a single quote. It's all strings. Then the next one is case sensitivity. Says variable names are case sensitive. Variable name are case sensitive. Meaning that, look at this now. Small letter A equals 4. Capital letter A equals Sally. It will not mistake small letter A with capital letter A. They are not the same. So A will not all of a sudden become, the small letter A will not all of a sudden become Sally, because it is capital letter A that is Sally. So it sees them as different things. So it will not override themselves. So, but assuming we have A, assuming we say A equals 4, like small letter A equals 4, and we now say small letter A equals Sally, it will overwrite it. But because it is small letter A and capital letter A, they are two, Python sees both as something different. It will not override each other. All right. So that is it about variable. Let's go to variable names. Variable names. All right. So we'll be ending this stream in about 30 minutes time, because we also don't want it to be too long, so that people can easily flow, right, when they're trying to rewatch. So that's why we're trying to make sure that it's not too, you get, it's not too much. All right, let's continue. Not too long. All right, variable names. Variable can have a short name like S and Y, or a more descriptive name like H, cab, mage. We have total volume. C, sorry, car name rather, car name, then total volume. Now, see, in practices, remember I just told you a best practice now. I just told you that casting is a best practice when using Python. Now, I'm now telling you again that another best practice when using Python is to give it a descriptive name. Whenever you are using Python, please, or even any programming language, it doesn't have to be Python, you should always write something descriptive. You should write a name that you can easily use it to remember why you created the variable in the first instance. Because if you're writing a very big program, it will get very ambiguous, and you might be lost because you will not remember why a particular variable was created at the first instance. So it's always good to be very descriptive, right? So rules for Python variable. A variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. So a variable name, like you can start with a letter, it has to be a letter, or you can use underscore, right? Then just like this, look at it here. You must start with a letter like this, start with M, then this start with underscore. So a variable name can start with underscore. A variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name cannot start with a number. You cannot have, for example, you cannot tell me now that this first one is 2x. You can see it's already red. It's already telling me that there's something wrong. 2x cannot be a variable name because a variable name cannot start with a number. All right, then let's go ahead. We said a variable name can only contain alphanumeric alphabet and underscores. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric alphabet. So it means that a variable name can still contain numbers, just that the number cannot be the starting point. For example, instead of 2x, I can say x2. It works. X2 works. So it will accept x2. So alphanumeric, that is alphabet and numbers. You can mix the both. You can also use underscore, uh, underscore something like this. And then, like we said, you can also start with underscore. So it takes it. Python has no issue starting a variable name with underscore or having numbers in the variable name, just that it cannot start with numbers. All right. The next one says variable names are case sensitive. Age, age with the title case, age, all capital letters are different variable names. They are different. So a variable name, the last one says a variable name cannot be any of the Python keywords. There are some keywords that are for Python. You cannot use that as a variable name. For example, def. Def is for functions. So you cannot all of a sudden come and name your variable name def. Python will be confused because imagine naming, you see now, you see, you can see it underlined it. You cannot name Python def. Def is for function. You can see expected function name. You can see it's for function. So you cannot all of a sudden come and use def for a variable name. But you can use any other thing you like. A very descriptive stuff, right? Greetings, you can see. Greetings. You can use greetings as hello world. You can use descriptive stuff. You know, and then we also talked that it's case sensitive. We already prototyped that A is different from A. Age is different from age. You see, you can see it's not giving an error because although it shouldn't give an error though, right? So, but then this age, this 3.0 is different from age. They're not the same thing. It's also different from age, like this. It's also different from this. So, Python is the variable name is very case sensitive. Whatever the name you use is what you will use throughout if you still want to reference variable. All right. So I think we understood that, right? So let's go ahead. Multiple words variable name. Variable name with more than one word can be difficult to read. When you have variable names with more than one word, it can be very difficult to read. So, but there are a lot of techniques that can be used to make it readable. Number one, it says camel case. Camel case is each word except the first starts with a capital letter. You know, this is camel case here. Camel case. It starts with a small letter, then every other word has to be a capital letter. You cannot give space. There is no space. You cannot say greetings, greetings message, and then you now leave a space in the middle. This is not, you cannot store a variable inside this. So, but to use camel case, you close up the gap and then you make this small letter. This is camel case. See now, camel case. So it's easily readable. So you can say greetings message. You can easily say greetings message because you see that it is readable. That's a style. That's camel case. There's another style which says Pascal case. Pascal's case says you capitalize each word. So let's do Pascal like this. This is Pascal case. Then the next one says snake case. Snake case is when every word is separated with underscore. So you can do like this small letter. You can make it small letter, but then it's separated with what? With underscore. That is what you can see. This is what's called snake case. So you can see that is very wonderful, right? So let's go to the next one. I'm trying to see if we can complete this variable at least today. There's only other thing on. So remember, we're not treating everything about Python. We're only giving us the basics of basis of Python, or basics rather of Python, so that we can have an understanding of what Python is about, right? So let's go ahead. Uh, Python variables assign multiple values. See, many values to multiple variables. Python allow you to assign values to multiple variables on one line. Okay, so look at this. Instead of saying x equals orange, y equals banana, and z equals cherry, we can just say that s, comma y, comma z equals orange, comma banana, comma cherry. It immediately picks the value, the position of x, whatever is in position of x here, this picks this x, this is y, and this is z. So let's try it. Let's try it in our scripts. Let's try it. Um, Let me clear the terminal. Let me clear the terminal and then let me paste this here. So you can see. Now, let's print it. Let's see the value of x, y, and z. You see that s should be orange. S should be orange. Do you see? X is orange, y is banana, z is cherry. So that is very beautiful, isn't it? So you can see you can assign multiple values or multiple variables on a single line. That which makes it very concise, makes it very interesting, right? You can also assign one value to multiple variables. So you can assign the same value to multiple variable on one line. For example, you can say that x equals y equals z equals orange. X, y, and z equals orange. So if we print x, if we print y, if we print z, they should all print out orange. Let's see the output. Let's see the output. It should be orange, orange, orange. That's what we're expecting. So let's do that. Do you see? X is orange, Y is orange, and Z is orange. All right, let's move ahead. So you can unpack a collection. You can unpack a collection. If you have a collection of values in a list or tuple, etc., Python allows you to extract the value into variables. This is called unpacking. So you can this we'll be dealing with this later is a list or a tuple. So we can use variables to unpack. So you can see the fruit is apple, banana, and cherry. But if you now say x, comma y, comma z equals fruit, the apple, we assume your guess is as good as mine, right? We assume the value of x will be apple, y will be banana, and z will be cherry. So let's print this out. Let's see. Let's try it for ourselves. Let's see how it looks like. So you can see we just unpacked. Let's unpack this list. Do you see now? So X is what? Apple is the first one printed. The next one is what? Banana, which is what? Y, and then next one is cherry. Let's change the position so that you can see that it's really happening. So let's put banana first. Banana. Let's put apple at the middle. So Y is now apple, and then, or let's do apple here, and then let's put cherry in the middle, right? Cherry in the middle. Right, so let's print it out. Your guess is as good as mine. X, we should have banana, then Y, we should have cherry, and then Z, we should have apple. Let's try it out. You see now? Banana, cherry, apple. So X is now what? Banana. Y is now cherry. Z is now apple. So we just unpacked that list. So it's like keeping something in a container and then use variable name to unpack it. All right, let's move ahead to output variables. We have just about 9 minutes. I don't want this to be too long, like I have been saying. So I would make sure that it's not too long so that we can easily flow through. I don't want it to be more than probably an hour. So let's so that we can easily, read, go watch it at a convenient time, and it will not be too daunting or too stressful. So we're doing this so that we can easily be able to go back to it. This is like the tenable solution that we can easily flow through now, because we've checked and it seems like we can't really get hold of free recording. And then another thing is we might be having sessions on maybe 2 or 1 Saturday in a month, so as to use it to we do it on Google Meet. So that session is for asking questions. Any question that is not clear on the live stream, you can ask it in that meeting. All right, so let's continue. Python output variables. Output variables. The Python print function is often used to output variables. The Python print function is often used to output variable. Remember, we have been using print for a long time now, so I don't think we need too much of explanation on this. So print is really used for what? For output. All right. I think we. So now let's see. Let's see a very interesting thing. It says in print function, you output multiple variables separated by a comma. So you can also output multiple variables. I think we have done this yesterday, but let's still do it. Let's still do it. We have Python. X is Python. Y is then Z awesome. So if you print X comma Y comma Z, we should get Python is awesome. So we only use the comma to separate them. We should get Python is awesome. So let's clear the terminal so that we can have some space, and then let's now print. Let's see what we get. Do you see? Python is awesome. So you can see, and then another thing I want us to get from there is that the reason why there is space is because we put space here. Let me remove the space, see what happens. To see it will module everything together. So let's reprint, see what happens now. Python is also, oh, okay, wow. Oh, okay, I think um they've actually updated this. This is wonderful. I love this. So you can see that even Python is very sensitive. Normally, if there is no space, so I think that is Python 2. If there's no space here, if there is no space here, it's going to module, it's going to be Python. You're going to have something like this, like Python is awesome. This is what I was expecting. But amazingly, he just, amazingly, he just uh amazingly he just left the space itself, because he saw that it is a string. So you can see Python is very, very brilliant like that. So all right, so let's see another thing that the print function can do. um you can use operator, plus operator, to output multiple variables. So that is called concatenation. That's called what? Concatenation. So you can use it. So let's try it. So you just say uh so it's going to be X plus Y plus Z. So that's concatenation. So we are concatenating uh X, Y, and Z. So we can concatenate string. That is, let's see the output. Let's print it out. Do you see? Python is awesome. You can see there is no space. So it's combined. The concatenation means to compress things together. So it combined Python is and awesome together. So that's concatenation. So and that's what we just did right now. It's outputted all the variables, but it concatenated them.